Hello everybody and welcome back to the new VR news. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your one channel for everything VR related. Today, we have an insane rumor for the upcoming Apple VR headset, a lot of new updates from Pimax, including their Sword controllers, a really welcome update to SteamVR, and lots of new titles to go over. So let's not waste any more time and jump right into this. First up, we had two new games released last week, and one of them truly caught me off guard. Based off of the trailer, I was ready to completely write off Zombieland Headshot Fever, but I jumped into it and was pleasantly surprised. Yes, the game is yet another arcade zombie shooter, but I was surprised by the overall production value and how much fun this game was. Unexpectedly, it plays a lot like the classic on-rails Sega game House of the Dead. Your emphasis is on speed, accuracy, and getting a high score. The game's always looking to surprise you the first few times you play a level. The voice acting is done quite well, there's unlockable weapons, weapon upgrades, perks, and overall this title was much better than I expected. Now another new release that's getting a lot of positive feedback is Cosmodread. Now, I didn't get around to trying this title out yet, and I rarely do reviews or gameplay on this channel. If I happen to play a new release, I will mention it in the news like I just did for Zombieland Headshot Fever. But I do want to mention, if you guys are looking for release day gameplay, you have to check out GamerTag VR's channel. GT is a legit gamer, unlike some hype channels out there. He knows what he's talking about, he's gonna call out any BS he comes across, and he's just a super entertaining dude. So if you're looking for gameplay, I will include a link to his channel in the description. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into upcoming games. Right now, Doom 3 is available for the PlayStation VR. Now this title is actually 16 years old, and this is the first official VR release, but there is a mod available for this so you could play it in PC VR or on the Oculus Quest. I've experienced it on both platforms and will say the game is fantastic in VR. I'm hoping with this official release they give it some extra attention and also officially carry it over to other VR platforms. While we're talking about demons and reviving old titles, we have to mention Hellgate VR. Hellgate London was a shooter action RPG that originally released back in 2007. 11 years later, in 2018, it re-released on Steam. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic future where London is infested with demons. Hellgate VR is a new game based on this IP. It's supposed to be releasing in March of 2021, but there's only 2 days left in March, so I think they're gonna miss this window. This is an action-oriented single-player title, but I hope they're preserving some of those ARPG features. I'll keep an eye out on this game, and hopefully we have more to talk about in the near future. Speaking of the near future, Physic Lab is officially coming to the Oculus Quest on April 1st. That's the perfect date for this wacky hand tracking based title, and if you're interested in hand tracking on the Oculus Quest, nothing shows it off like this title. There's tons of objects to interact with, the physics are pretty amazing, and there's roughly 80 challenges to play. So if you're looking to have some fun with some Oculus Quest hand tracking, check out Physic Lab. Moving on to other upcoming games, we have an announcement trailer for Fractured Atmosphere. This is a zero-G atmospheric exploration title. You'll fly through the galaxy avoiding hazards, board derelict spaceships on illegal salvage missions, and when you're safely back on your own spaceship, you can manage your crew and work on some upgrades that suit your playstyle. This game's coming soon to Steam, but there's no official release date just yet. Okay, so next up we have new gameplay footage for the upcoming survival title Green Hell. There's 6 clips showing off in-game VR mechanics, where you'll forage, hunt with a bow, and collect some resources. Green Hell was originally a flat-screen title that released in September of 2019, and it's getting a VR release sometime later this year. If you're familiar with the Forest VR, it's similar to that title, and you can also play this in both single player and co-op mode. I'm a huge fan of the Forest, so I'm definitely looking forward to this game. Now another game that I'm intrigued about, but not quite as sold, is GangV Civil Battle Royale. This is an upcoming GTA-style Battle Royale title that's playable in both flat screen and VR. This is one of those titles that could be a surprise hit or just utterly fail. Now this is a PvP-centric title where at least 50 players will be present on the map. There's 18 different vehicles, 15 different weapons, and a huge city to explore. Like I said guys, I'm definitely intrigued on this one, but also quite skeptical. An early access release is coming soon, and if you are interested in this title, I will include a link to their Discord where you can try and get alpha access. So believe it or not, we have even more game news to go over, but luckily there are some freebies to check out. Firstly, Synth is getting a new paid Adrenaline DLC pack featuring The Offspring. I used to rock out to 2 of the 5 included songs all the time as a kid, so I'm gonna have to play this new pack. There's also 3 new songs rolling out for free, but that's not all. If you are an Oculus Quest owner and wanted to try this game out for free, a demo is now available on the App Lab. So what are you waiting for? Go download it right now and check this out if you haven't already. Synth Riders has a completely different feel than Beat Saber, and the title has grown on me a lot in the past few months. While we're talking about freebies, the PlayStation Play at Home event has some amazing free titles that you can download right now. The first title is Astrobot Rescue Mission, which is easily the best VR platformer available. The next title is Moss, which is the best puzzle experience I've ever had in VR. There's Thumper, which I've never actually played but heard it's amazing, and I'm gonna be checking that out tonight. And then there's Paper Beast, this atmospheric exploration title filled with weird origami creatures. If you're a PlayStation VR owner who oddly never got around to any of these games, this is an amazing opportunity. Farpoint is also currently available to PlayStation Plus members. If you are looking to purchase the game, it's currently $20, but if you wanted to do a quick playthrough and enjoy everything else PlayStation Plus has to offer, you can get it for $10 a month. Okay, we only have one VR game left to mention, but it's a huge one. Half-Life Alyx has had its first year anniversary. To honor that, the title is currently 40% off. Valve has also published a list of high-quality mods they recommend you check out, and if for some reason you just have not played Half-Life Alyx yet, you really need to. Nothing else in VR compares to this game. I've recently replayed through almost the entire game while I was doing my Pimax testing, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. The recently released Return to Rapture Bioshock mod is also spectacular and is hands down better than the majority of games releasing right now. So if you don't have Half-Life Alyx, go get it. If you do have it, play the Bioshock mod. You can go ahead and thank me later. Okay, so we are finally moving on from the game news into some welcome updates to SteamVR. If you're on the beta version, you may have noticed there's new buttons available on the desktop view. You can now select any open application, and you can even mount screens to your hands. It's not as robust as OVR, at least not yet, but there's not as much overhead, it's built in for free, and it should get the job done. Now this is something that should have been part of SteamVR for like 4 years now, but I'm glad they're finally getting around to it. Now if you guys want to go tinfoil hat with me for 2 seconds here, Valve tends to introduce some of these cool little updates right before they announce something. Now I'm not saying anything's coming, but I am hoping something's coming. Not to be outdone, it looks like the Facebook Guardian system also has some updates on the way. People like to data mine the Oculus Quest, and that's how we occasionally find some upcoming features. Couch mode was discovered months before it became an actual feature, and now it looks like we're getting intrusion detection. So if someone walks into your play space while you're mid-gaming, the Oculus Quest will notify you. To be honest, this is a feature I thought was going to be available on the original PC VR headsets. When I found out that the original Vive had front-facing cameras, I assumed that's what they would be used for. Well, here we are 5 years later, and it looks like we're finally going to get that feature. This is definitely going to help some kids somewhere avoid getting punched in the face while they're teasing their friend who's in VR. Okay, so let's move on to some insane Apple VR rumors. The Verge has recently reported that Apple's upcoming mixed reality headset will weigh under 150 grams. This would make it insanely lighter than anything else currently available. For comparison, the Oculus Quest 2 is around 500 grams, and the Valve Index is around 800 grams. The Verge also reiterated some of those insane specs we've heard about for this product. We're talking 8K displays, a dozen cameras, and possibly an M1 chip. My question is, how on earth can you fit all of that into 150 grams? If Apple can pull this off, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Now, while we're on the topic of cutting-edge technology, we have to talk about Pimax. We recently had a Pimax livestream event where they spent 2 hours going over everything they're currently working on. Coincidentally, this released right around the same time as my Pimax 8KX video. If you didn't see my video, I compare the Pimax 8KX to the Valve Index, and ultimately I still like my Valve Index better, but Pimax is delivering some cutting-edge technology. The 2-hour livestream touched on everything Pimax is currently working on. If you're not familiar with Pimax, they make ultra-wide enthusiast-level VR headsets, but they do offer features that you just can't get anywhere else. Now, I won't be going over everything covered in this 2-hour presentation. I did want to focus on the Pimax Sword controllers, but I do have a general overall opinion of Pimax right now, which is both good and bad. They're definitely trend-setting with some of the features they're implementing, specifically that ultra-wide FOV, but overall it looks like the company hasn't found their sweet spot and is taking on way too much. There's currently 5 different headset models, an eye tracking module, a hand tracking module, 2 new controllers on the horizon, and almost every single product feels like a beta work in progress. They need to scale things back, dial in a product that checks all the boxes, iron out their software issues, and take care of their backers. So just rein it in and deliver one amazing WoW product. I honestly think if Pimax focuses, they are capable of this. Now let's discuss the Pimax Sword controllers. The controllers use SteamVR base station tracking, they look like a blend between the Valve Index and Oculus controllers, and the current testing model has a big giant trackpad. Now they are working on a second model which features a thumbstick, a smaller trackpad, and sensors for finger tracking. So those would be much closer to the Valve Index controllers. I'm actually really excited to see new SteamVR controllers because the current options are Vive Wands, which I think are terrible, and the Valve Index controllers, which I really enjoy, but they're prone to failure. Unfortunately though, it doesn't look like these controllers include any exciting new features. And based on Pimax history, I'm not expecting competitive pricing. But I could be wrong, and it is nice to have new options. If you enjoy the trackpad of the Vive Wands, well, here's a potential upgrade. And if you're on your 4th pair of Valve Index controllers, the Sword Sense controllers might be a viable alternative. Again though, these are currently just in the testing phase, so don't get your hopes up to see them anytime soon. Okay everybody, that was today's new VR news. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.